happy to announce the next presentation now and would like to ask Christiana Seethaler and Arno Burkhardt to join the stage here. They will share information about the new controller family for the first time. Let's get inspired and informed by these two experts.
Thank you, Markus, for the introduction. We are introducing to you today the TTC 2300 product family, which is the first member of a completely new series of ECUs that we call the TTC 2000 series. Step by step, we will launch additional members of this series in the upcoming months, from very small units with few I/Os, less memory, to very large devices with huge set of interfaces and I/Os. What is so special about this new TTC 2000 series? That they share the same basic building blocks among all the family members. So they are fully compatible among each other. What type of basic building blocks do they share? For example, they have the same type of connectors. Arno will tell a bit more about that. They also have the same microcontroller family, the AURIX second generation. That means for you that you can use the same set of tools like compilers and debuggers, and also the same build environment when developing applications. Also, the board support package and the API is fully compatible between all the members of the series. So it's very easy to port an application from one device to another. Let's say, for example, you have developed an application for one very small unit, and then you find out that you're missing two PWM outputs, for example. Then you can move to the next bigger one, and it's very easy to port the application to this bigger device.
Yeah, and here it is, our new TTC 2300 electronic control unit. You can see the robust and compact aluminum die-cast housing. And in the front of the device, you can see the two Molex 48-pin connectors. As you see, they have different colors and also different coding, and this ensures a failure-proof vehicle commissioning. And beside the two Molex connectors, there are the HSD connector. They are dedicated connectors for our high-speed signals, so for our two Ethernet signals. And you just click the mating connector in, it's completely shielded and sealed. So you do not have to do crimping by yourself, as crimping is a source for failures for high-speed signals. Yeah, and just beside, integrated in the sealed housing, you can also see 3 status LEDs. They are completely freely programmable by the application. And so, for example, they really make the life for field engineer working on a mobile machinery in the field really easy. And it also helps you when commissioning the vehicle. Another feature which we have on this new product is that you can use Unified Diagnostic Services Communication Protocol for updating and flashing the ECU. So this means that you do not need any proprietary tool chain for updating this ECU.
Now a few more details to the CPU or the microcontroller that we use on this unit. It's the Infineon AURIX in its second generation. And it's really the latest and greatest when it comes to embedded safety microcontrollers. They are widely used already in the automotive market, especially in safety applications. Unique is the combination of high performance with powerful safety and also security features. It runs at 300 megahertz and has up to 6 independent cores. 4 of them are lockstep cores, meaning that there are 2 of them running in parallel. This is also for advanced safety. Other features include a FPU, floating point unit, and also a memory protection unit. The memory protection unit allows you to separate safe code from code without safety requirements, and therefore speeds up also the application development if you have such mixed applications. We have chosen the AURIX second generation because it also is very scalable from very small to larger variants. The smaller with less memory, fewer cores, and the bigger with more memory and more cores. From the memory side, for example, on the external flash, on the 32 megabyte, we provide as a new feature a file system. For example, you can use that for storing parameters, log files, or also the isobus object pool in agricultural applications. The file system supports, for example, a feature that is called var leveling. What does this mean? Let's say, for example, that you write a certain variable very often and update it very frequently. Then, without var leveling, the flash cell would wear out over time and lose its reliability, or even would stop working. With this var leveling, it's ensured that the erase and write cycles are evenly distributed across the flash, and therefore the flash segments are not degraded when erased or written frequently. The file system supports also power failure resilience. What does this mean? That means even if the power supply is suddenly lost, it's ensured that the files have either their previous contents or the new contents, but not an inconsistent state somewhere in between. Now a few details to the I/Os. In total, the TTC 2300 offers up to 63 I/Os, 22 inputs and 41 outputs. On the output side, we offer in total 26 PWM outputs, 18 on the high side, 8 on the low side. All of them offer precise current measurement. On the high side, up to 8 amps, up to 1 kilohertz. On the low side, up to 4 amps with 4 kilohertz. So you can combine them, for example, for driving motors. Arno will tell you a bit more about that later. The total load current is up to 45 amps. And as you know from previous or from our existing ECUs, all the I/Os are highly configurable. That means that, for example, you can use the outputs as inputs, or you can configure the inputs for different sensor types, for example, for voltage measurement, current measurement, or resistive measurements.
Yeah, and beside the large I/O set, we of course also have additional other interfaces in our new TTC 2300 electronic control unit family. We have up to 4 CAN FD interfaces for agricultural applications. It's of course isobus compliant. We've heard before about the advantages for the isobus object pool. And one of the CAN FD interfaces is also enabled as wake-up source, so that you can do wake-up over CAN. As a serious interface, we have also a LIN interface on the TTC 2300. And I have shown you the HSD connectors for the high-speed signal. So we have the 2 Ethernet interfaces on these HSD connectors, and you can decide whether you want to take a variant with standard Ethernet 100 base TX or with the automotive broader reach Ethernet 100 base T1. With the 2 interfaces, which are configurable with an internal switch, you can integrate our TTC 2300 electronic control unit family into various Ethernet network topologies. So you can, for example, do daisy chain or double ring topologies and various others. So this is really an advantage of this Ethernet interface for future and present modern vehicle architectures. Yeah, and as also the innovations and the technologies on the sensor side is increasing and is going forward, we of course also support this with our electronic control unit, and that's why we have up to 4 SENT interfaces, and on these SENT interfaces we also support the short PWM code. So your machine is then ready for connection of smart sensors. With the ongoing electrification on off-highway machinery, there is also a trend that more and more functions on the machines are controlled by electric motors. And that's why our TTC 2300 electronic control unit family also supports driving electric motors. You can use for this up to 4 H-bridges with 4 amp. At the startup phase of the motor, you can even have 3 amps available, and you also have PWM control. So what does this specification mean? It means that you can drive a large variety of available motors on the market, and you can do this with various control modes. So besides start-stop, you can, for example, change, of course, direction, but you can also do soft start, soft stop, half speed, and many more modes. And in case you have safety applications on your machinery, you might need to integrate an emergency stop button. And this is also facilitated by our TTC 2300 electronic control unit family. For this, you take your emergency stop button, you connect it to the pins, to the dedicated pins of the TTC 2300, and you have the feature then already available. And the large advantage is that you do not have to do application programming for fulfilling this emergency stop button functionality.
Yeah, speaking about functional safety, also with our new ECU, we cover several different safety standards to fulfill the requirements of the different industry, for machinery, for agricultural vehicles, but also for on-road use, for cars, trucks, and buses, for example, the ISO 26262 up to ACC. And very new, we also fulfill the ISO 19014 up to MPLD for earth-moving machinery for the first time with this unit. Then a few more details about the software. I've talked about the file system already. In addition to the file system, we provide also an operating system that supports both multi-core and multitasking operation. So you can split your software into different tasks and then freely assign them to the different cores of the microcontroller. The operating system that we use is called PX-ROS, and it is also certified by TÜV. One of the benefits that you get when using this operating system is that the MPU is fully handled and abstracted by this operating system, and you don't have to care about it in your application, and it makes it very easy to program applications with part that has partial safety requirements and partial application parts that do not have safety requirements, and it makes it easy to split both without interfering each other, which is called freedom from interference. The communication between the tasks is, for example, possible via events or also message objects. From the programming side, we support, as well known from the other ECUs that we have in the market, programming in C, C++, Codesys, and also MATLAB Simulink. And also the high-tech match software toolchain is supported by these new controllers. As also well known from the ECUs that we have in the market, all our ECUs are developed for extremely harsh environments. What is very unique is that all the characteristics and the ratings that you find in the datasheet or the user manual really are applicable for the whole temperature range from -40 degrees to +85 degrees, for example, the measurement accuracy. The ingress protection is IP67 and IP6K 9K. We, of course, perform thorough testing through the whole development life cycle. But it is also of utmost importance that every single unit that is produced fulfills these requirements. So here it's very important that we have a very reliable production line that ensures that each ECU is produced in a reproducible way. And this is ensured by our highly automated production line at our production partner, Continental, in Budapest.
Thank you, Christiana. Thank you, Arno. It was a great presentation, and I think there's a lot of details you have shared now to all the people on the other side as well. Thank you for that.